So just to set the agenda correct, for the order of the webinar today, in today's session, we'll be going through how the world is mapping, fundamentally changing in the way business operate and grow today. We'll be deep diving into the core APIs of Google Maps platform, discussing how together we can build the blueprint for your success. After the end of the session, we will open the floor for everyone to ask a question and answers. And while I am presenting, I'm going through my session. If you have any questions, please feel free to type into the chat and we will pick it up by the end of the session. And please, we believe all questions are good questions, so please don't hesitate. If you have anything, please feel free to ask. Now, before we actually deep dive into Google Maps platform itself, I just wanted to give you a little background of what we do, who we are. So Lepton Software is a 30-year-old location intelligence company. We've been into this domain for last 30 years and completely into location intelligence. For Google Maps, we are partnered with them for last 16 years, and this partnership flows two ways. On one hand, while we are promoting their enterprise APIs to various corporates, we also supply a lot of data, or we license a lot of data to Google Maps as well. So in today, when you see a lot of these route deviations or route closures on the road, that data is powered by us, toll data, administrative boundaries, transit data. There are various data sets that we have licensed to Google, and we keep updating it every day. We have a global presence. We have 5 offices globally. We have 750 plus workforce. Primarily, we are headquartered in Gurgaon, where 500 plus executives are sitting here, and rest they are spread across globally. We achieved this milestone last year. We have currently running 1,500 and plus customers on our platform for one or other services. And we have a very close partner ecosystem where we have 130 plus partners onboarded. Just to give you a little sense of our global presence, we are headquartered in India. We have offices in Singapore, Dubai, Australia, and US. And talking about the product suite of Lepton Maps, we have built various products over the years on Google Maps platform. And just to name a few flagship products that we have, the first one tops the chart, which is Smart Market, where we are helping every brick and mortar company in India to understand where should they go and open their new store. It uses Lepton's proprietary data, which is demographics data, 3D building data, plus Google Maps Places Insight. Traffic Cure is primarily built on Google's road management insight. Again, Google has come up with this new product where government agencies are using this platform to understand where are the congestion points and how predictively they can do these analyses and try to solve them. And third, this is primarily focused on the telecom companies, built again on the Google Maps APIs to understand and visualize the current fiber network of their assets. And if they have to manage the entire life cycle of the fiber, they can do that from the same platform. Now, before we deep dive, just a quick, over the last 30 years, we've been doing this work. We have a lot of impact stories to talk about, but just a few that we wanted to highlight. One is that globally, whatever platform that we have built till now, we have 1 billion plus subscribers to these platforms. We have mapped up to 200 million kilometers roads till now. While the customers, why they love working with us is because we have faster deployment cycles. And while we are deploying these platforms, customers also prefer us to work with them very closely to do optimization workshops and help them build new use cases, which help increase in business scalability as well. Would like to showcase some of the larger portfolio that we have. These are the few logos that have been working very closely with us on one platform or another. I will give it 1 second for you to glance it through, and then I'll go to the next. Now, let's talk about the magic that powers this innovation. the Google Maps platform. Now, over the last 20 years, Google Maps platform has been the backbone for countless businesses globally. And today we will deep dive into how it can impact your business. Now, before we actually deep dive into the various use cases of Google Maps APIs, let's first understand why Google Maps. Why do millions of developers trust this platform? Now, so there are major 5 components for this trust. The first is dynamic imagery. With Google Maps platform, you get access to industry-leading 3D images, high-resolution street view images, and satellite imagery for over 250 million places. It has a global scale. You can grow from a prototype, code to a planet-scale application without even worrying about the infrastructure or performance. It has a continuous refresh to its database. There are a lot of companies like us, third-party data sources, who are working continuously with Google to update these data sets. Google invests a handsome amount of revenue towards the constant refresh of these data sets. Then there is trust and reliability as well. You are all building on the same world-class platform, secure infrastructure, you understand GCP well, and it powers Google itself. Third, fifth, not the last least, it is an intuitive user experience. In today's world, if you see, there are billions of users who are using Google Maps API through the consumer app, and wherever they see the same kind of platform on their on the websites or on the customers portals, they find it very easy to interact with. Essentially, it provides a robust foundation for the strategic decision making. Now, to deep dive more in detail what Google Maps platform is all about. So just to give you a little gist of it, Google Maps platform is actually divided into 5 different product portfolios. The first one is, I'll go to the next slide and it'll be a little more clear. So the first is Maps. Now, Maps is to create immersive customer experience. Routes is to make every trip better and more efficient. Places is to help people find rich and detailed information about various point of interest they've been looking for. Google has launched environmental API last year along with analytics. Environmental API is to help respond to climate challenges that we've been facing and to promote sustainability. An analytics tool like Google Earth Engine, Places Insight, Road Management Insight is to enable corporates like you to take decisions based on the data that is given, refresh data that is given by Google Maps platform. So no matter what you build, there is a product for you. So now let's look at how you can put the Google Maps platform into the business. As I said, we have almost 1,500 plus customers on our platform. And after talking to most of them, we have actually narrowed down to 3 major business use cases that these corporates are solving for. And I will be deep diving into all 3 of them one by one. So let's go on to the first one first, which is improve customer address, which is the biggest challenge for many of the corporates at this moment. So in the world of quick commerce, and as you know, how quick commerce is booming in India, in the world of quick commerce and delivery today, which is a massive growing opportunity, and inefficient address handling can be a huge hurdle. I'm sure you would be surprised to know that 70% of online carts abandoned and shipping issues are major pain point for these corporates. Google Maps platform helps you improve addresses and streamline operations at a critical points like checkout and delivery. You can speed up the checkout and checkout with autocomplete API. You can visually get it confirmed from the customer, which actually results into an improved delivery and ensure the valid addresses given to you. What it returns you after all of these validation, it actually reduces the cart abandon and improve the success delivery success and avoid unnecessary cost that is happening in the market. Just to help you understand what I'm talking about, I would love to take you through a case study from one of our top customer, Zomato, how they've been implementing. And I'm sure everybody would have used Zomato to order food for your day-to-day life. So if you see, to onboard a customer, if you have to add a new address onto a Zomato platform, it is very easy. It is a seamless process. And ensure that when the food is delivered to you, it is delivered to you at a doorstep. What they have done is they have implemented a few APIs to ensure that the accuracy comes within. So the first one is autocomplete. What is autocomplete? Autocomplete is just typing a few keywords. It automatically gives you a list of drop down where you can select the exact address that you're looking forward to. You select that address, the pin will be plotted on the map. And if you think that the pin is not plotted correctly, you can move it and drop it to the right location. And it will geocode that address into an formatted address, in a readable address, and returns it. Now, what it does is it actually helps Zomato to reduce the cart abandonment. They have seen 64% average decrease in cart abandonment. Zomato has also implemented Routes API. So historically, as I mentioned, that Routes API is the newer version of API that Google has launched last year. Historically, Google has been giving API responses a distance or ETA based on the four-wheeler, but based on the, looking at the scale, how quick commerce is increasing in India, specifically for India, they have introduced a two-wheeler routing as well. And basis that, the more accurate ETAs are delivered to corporates like you. Now, a few more cases I would like to talk about in the customer experience segment. Now, the Places API is also incredibly powerful for discovery. You can help users to find your nearest store, ATM, restaurants, whichever it is, and provide rich details like hours, reviews, and give them direction all within your application. Strategically, you can also use this data for site selection by understanding the density of the amenities which are around an area and make smarter decisions where to expand. Google has also launched another API which is called Places Insight API. What it does is that if you're looking to expand, for example, if you are looking to open a coffee shop, the most important details would be for you is that where are the corporates in and around, because that is where you would want to open a coffee shop, or where are the restaurants around, until what time do they open, where are the sushi places. So all of that you can find through these Places Insight API, and basis that you can actually take a strategic decision to understand that which location is apt for you to open. Google also provides you the competitors of your own industry. So for a cafe, if you also want to understand where are the cohorts of other cafes which are already present, you can actually have that. Now, again, to walk you through how these APIs are implemented with one of another large customer, which is NoBroker. So to be honest with you, this is one customer in real estate who has actually tried to implement all relevant use cases within their application. So you don't have to hop on the consumer website again and again to understand where is the place. So I'm sure you all would know what NoBroker does. NoBroker is a real estate agent who helps you find a rented, or if you're looking to own a house. Now, if you are looking to own a house or rent a place, the first thing that comes into your mind is what is the neighborhood? What are the places which are in and around? What does the place look like? Now, to do that, it becomes very difficult for you to go on ground and do these surveys, or to look around and understand how the place look like. It is impossible for everyone to do that. Now, what NoBroker has done is that they have actually implemented Google API so seamlessly, you can understand the neighborhood right away. So with the visualization at the back end with the map layer, what they have done is you can simply type in through an autocomplete the locality that you're looking for. And then once you have selected the place, what it does is that it gives you the relevant amenities which are present in and around. Now, for example, you would be interested to understand how many banks or colleges or school maybe for your kids, hospitals which are in and around, which actually will convince you to understand that you actually should go there and buy a place for yourself. Also, they have gone an extra mile and also implement routes API to give you a clear distance. So if you have pinpoint a property that this is what you're looking for, it will give you the distance from your property to these amenities as well. One more thing I would like to highlight on this is that they have gone one more extra mile and also implement the transit data, which is powered by Lepton. Now you also will see that, if you have picked up a location, how far are the metro station, bus stations, or any other station, or even the airport for a matter, how far are they? Another use case that I would like to call upon is from Lenskart. Now, all of you do understand that, once you have got into a brick and mortar business, the first thing which you want to do is, if you have multiple stores, that you want to show them on your website. Not a lot of people are comfortable buying things online. They would want to come to a store, experience your product, and then buy it. Now, to do that seamlessly, you need to build a smart store locator implemented with Google Maps APIs. Now here, what Lenskart has done is that they have implemented Dynamic Maps API, again, just to give you a visualization layer where the stores are present. Once you use the autocomplete API to give a locality, it dynamically create a catchment around it, let's say a buffer of 5 kilometers, and gives you all the stores which are present within the 5 kilometers. It also automatically detects your location from the mobile device or a website, and then geocode it into a readable address to be able to create that buffer. Now, how No Broker had actually, given you the distance from the property to various amenities, Lenskart has also done the similar way. What they have done is they have given the distance from the store, from your location to various stores. So you can actually choose which one is the nearest to visit. Now, for the second use case, which is powering the journey, once you have collected the correct location of the customer, the second milestone that you have to cross is to ensure that the delivery happens on time and the real ETA has been given. Because what it does is, if the ETAs are not what you had given while taking the orders, then it results to multiple calls to the call centers to understand where their packages are and how soon you'll be able to get it. And that led to a negative customer experience as well. Now, to address this, I'll be taking through a few of the use cases that most of the corporates have implemented. So one we have briefly touched upon, which is two-wheeler routing with quick commerce coming in India with a boom. Most of the fleet are on a two-wheeler. So as I said, looking at this and capitalizing on the opportunity and there been an ask from most of these corporates, Google has launched a two-wheeler routing with a real-time traffic. Now you can actually go ahead and promise more real-time ETAs to your customers if your fleet is on two-wheeler. Now, second is dispatch route optimization. Now, once you have collected, if you have multiple deliveries to do in a single day, and you want a single delivery boy to actually handle 5 or 6 deliveries, how should you ensure that he takes the optimized route to be able to do maximum deliveries and in a lesser time? So Google Maps APIs help you do that as well. As I said, it has real-time traffic integrated to it. You can actually navigate seamlessly if you are willing to implement the navigation SDK, which actually can be embedded within your ecosystem, so the driver doesn't have to automatically opt out from your application or your ecosystem and go onto the consumer map, which means more real-time tracking. And the last, not the least, again, fleet tracking. Google has also come up with a new platform where if you implement a fleet tracking engine, what it does is that it actually lets you understand what is the current state of your drivers. Are they on job, off duty? How much ETAs are they taking? If you have to go back and check that how many deliveries by a single rider has been done in some date, that data get fed to BigQuery, and then you can navigate. seamlessly. Now, to understand more in detail about these use cases, I will talk about a couple of case studies from our existing customers. One is Red Taxi, again, who don't know about them. They are very big in South. They are primarily functioning in tier 2, tier 3 cities. They do roughly on and off more than 1 million rides in a month. So how they have implemented is that for them, the biggest challenge has been that, once first is picking up the right location for the customer. And again, the entire process comes the same, that you implement autocomplete API, ensure that you give a dynamic map view at the backend, and ensure that the customer fills in and you get the accurate lat long of the customer, or accurate location of the customer. But once you have done it, the another problem that comes, that most of the mobility company faces, is that which is my nearest driver to assign. So what it does is that at the back end, you run those algorithm, which can be run on the Google Maps platform, to understand that where are these drivers who are present in and around that catchment, and who's the nearest I should go and give this ride to. Now, compute route matrix and navigation SDK, along with the driver SDK, what it does is it helps you run that algorithm seamlessly, and you can build a lot of logics on top of it at the same time. If you see, the impact after implementing these APIs, what impact it has made on Red Taxi's support is they actually have started receiving 20% less calls to their call centers to understand where the driver is. Now, the second use case that I would like to talk about is Blinkit. Again, to ensure that the deliveries are done within 15 minutes, which is a big question at this moment, I know. But again, to ensure that the deliveries are done at the right ETA or the quickest way, they ensure that the implementation of a compute route matrix, which gives a two-wheeler routing, gives you a accurate ETA and a direction for a rider to reach to a place at a stimulated time. The next, I would like to talk about what we call it, solve complex problems. Now, what we have done till now, what we have spoken about is that deliveries where a rider has to do 5 or 6 deliveries in a way. Now, think about a situation where a big organization have, let's say, deliveries in lakhs to do from thousands of fleet. Now, how would you do that? It is impossible to do it, sit down, understand that from which pin code the deliveries have come, and then optimize it. Now, what Google Maps route optimization does is that you can input all of your data, customer deliveries data, addresses, and your riders data. It will automatically create the route for everyone, the quickest route for everyone, and return it as a polyline. Now, it also gives you put a lot of constraints. So for example, let's say out of this complex problem, one customer said that, listen, I need a delivery by 3 to 4 only. This is the time bracket where I'm going to be at home. Otherwise, I can't pick up. I can't receive this delivery. So you can actually go ahead and put those constraints while calling this API, and basis your constraint, you will get the optimized route. Now with this API, now you can actually make smarter by layering with environmental data. Imagine automatically adjusting delivery routes to avoid areas with heavy rain or poor air quality. You can provide customers with hyper-accurate ETAs that account for weather, warn drivers of hazardous conditions in real time. This is a game changer for logistics. Again, for the fleet management, and of course, we have spoken briefly on it. Now you can actually track the performance with detailed fleet logs and analytics. You can see the distance traveled and compare expected versus accurate arrival times to continuously optimize your operation. There have been a lot of organizations who have actually, transitioned from their traditional way of calculating the conveyance basis the meter readings to the actual distance they have traveled. So this API actually helps you do that as well. This fleet management actually tells you that how much a single rider has traveled throughout the day while he's on duty delivering things. So our goal today was to show you how this inflection point in geographic technology can directly shape your business. The Google Maps platform gives you the tools to elevate everything that you build or drive and brings a measurable impact. And I think I'm on time. Now, with that, I would like to open it up for the questions. Please feel free to ask anything about the platform or our services, how this could apply to your specific businesses. Now, before I do that, before I do that, I just want to quickly, talk about, so there are, while I have informed you that, we've been partnered with Google for last 16 years, but still, why would you work with us? Why would you onboard with us for the Google Maps platform? Now, one, as I told you, we have a 30 years of expertise in it. We have 300 plus developers in-house who've been building platforms in and out. So the use case that you have thought of, there could be a high possibility that we probably would have built it in one of our platforms. Now, second is customize solutions as per your needs. So tomorrow, let's say if you are looking to implement Google Maps platform or any location intelligence use cases, there could be a possibility that 90% of it is achievable as it is through the Google Maps platform, but there would be a 10% customization that would need on top of it. Happy to help. We are here to build those customizations for you. Now, third, which is very important for many customers, why a partner? Why should we bring a partner into the picture? Now, this is where we come in. We provide you exclusive access to certain APIs which are not available directly through Google. The reason why they are only accessible through partners is because you need a technical expertise to be able to implement them, and we bring those technical capabilities on board, and we help you implement it end to end. While we onboard you on Google Maps APIs on special pricing, gives you special access to APIs which are not available. At the same time, we also help you arrange workshops to optimize your consumption. So with our customers who are willing to invest certain time, we ensure that we do quarterly QBRs with them, understand their current use cases, understand what extra they are looking to implement, how they are looking to enhance their customer experiences, and basis that if there are any optimization workshops that we can give or tips that we can give, we come in picture and give you that as well. You get a dedicated account manager, that goes without saying. And we have a product roadmap visibility as well. We work very closely with Google Maps product team because any product that comes into India, specifically in India, we get access to it. We do extensively testing. We take it to certain customers who are willing to do extensive testing on it. Basis that, we go back to the product team, explain them how things are working out, if there are any tweaks which are needed. And again, based on all the feedback that we've been compiling on ground, we know the clear visibility that how things are shaping in Google Maps platform. And the last but not the least, we provide you billing and support. Now, my session is almost done. I would again open it up for the audience. If you have any questions, please type in, or otherwise raise your questions. I will unmute you, or my team will unmute you, and happy to answer those questions. I think I have a few questions in the chat. Okay, I have one question from Palash. I'm building an app and exploring places inside. Does it work well with tier 2, tier 3 cities too, or is it mainly stronger for metro cities? So Palash, to be honest with you, if you see the universe today, if you want to understand, there is no government published data which is available. So if you I want to understand that, how many banks are available or how many restaurants are available in India, for us the universe is unscalable. So for us, all of us today, if we want to understand that, how much data which is available, we go ahead and look at the places inside. We look at the Google Maps. That's a source of truth. And yes, it does pretty well for tier two, tier three cities as well. So I'll give you one example for Blinkit, Zepto, all of them, they have covered metro cities already. Now they want to move out to tier two, tier three, tier four cities. Now for them to do acquisitions on restaurants, they uses places inside, understand where are these restaurants which are available. They go there, onboard them, and then take it forward. I have another question. The mentioned companies, Blinkit, Zomato, are those customers of Lepton? Yes, they are customers of Lepton. This is why we are allowed to use their case studies. I have another question here from Tushar. Hi, Tushar. I see that you are currently be on credit card for Google Maps. Is there any charge for shipping to Lepton? So, Tushar, this is a very good question. So, yes, currently, if you are using Google Maps APIs through a credit card, and I'll be very honest with you, how things work is working through a credit card means that you are a retail customer for them, and working through a partner means you are an enterprise customer. So first, you would like to get access to certain, data sets which are not available directly through credit card, that privilege that you get. And no, there are no extra charges. Whatever you're paying currently on the credit card, they remain the same. Lepton do not charge anything on top of it for any support. That goes by default. Hey Manish, how great up to date this information. So there's another question from Veena. How accurate and up to date is this information provided by Google for India? So Veena, again, just to let you know, Google has invested a lot of money in India specifically. It's a focus region for them, and these updates happen while we are talking. While I've given you the entire session of this webinar, I'm sure a lot of updates have already taken place on Google Maps APIs. I wouldn't say that they happens on time, on real time. For some data sets, yes. For the real-time traffic, it happens on real-time on ground. But yes, some data sets happen. There is a refresh cycle either overnight, in a couple of days, or in a week's time, and so on and so forth. Is there any API from Google to use for utility network planning? Yeah, certainly. So yes, there are many APIs that you do that. Now, utility network planning is very similar to the platform that we have for network access. I can relate to a certain APIs right away. One is again how Uber, Red Taxi, Zepto, and all of them uses this to assign a nearest driver. For you, it could be to assign a nearest technician if there is any fault in your utility pipelines. So that's one. You also want to visualize your entire network on a map that you can do. You also would want to understand where are the different POIs. For you, it could be transformers. For us, it is network holes. So all of that you can do is there is street view. You can actually see that if you have to do any digging to be able to, extend any pipelines, you can actually take a first gist of the area just by looking at the street view map. So there are multiple APIs that you can implement. Happy to connect after this session, one-to-one to understand what your queries are in detail, and then we can draft a go-to-market strategy around it. Okay, I have one more from Ankur. What all extra info do we get in Places Insight, which we don't get from Places Detail? So, Ankur, okay, so what happens is Places Detail. So there are two separate APIs, Places Insight API and Places Detail. Now, Places Detail actually gives you the actual place, right? A lat long and various other information like reviews, photos, and everything of a place. While Places Insight gives you insight of a catchment which you have passed. So if you want to understand the POIs which are present in a catchment, that Places Insight will help you, while Places Detail will only return up to 30 results in and around it. But if there are more than 30 POIs which are present, that will not come through Places Detail, that will come through Places Insight. And there is a very high price difference as well. So we will recommend you, happy to discuss again, I can connect with you one-to-one and understand what your use case is, and basis that we can recommend you which API to implement. Which Google Maps API is best to get insight of market demographics? Again, Palash, this is the Places Insight. So at this moment, what I would say is that happy to connect separately. We have this platform which is called Smart Market. What it does is that it combines the Places Insight API from Google Maps and also implement our own data, proprietary data, which is demographics, footfall, affluence, and gives you more granular insight of any market that you're looking for. And that includes tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 as well. I'll take one more question. And after then, what I can do is we can actually send out, I think we have a scanner as well, right? So I'm going to leave the scanner to you. You can scan it and post your questions there, and we will connect one-to-one after this session. The last question, I'll pick it up from Karishma. Currently, we are using a normal Google Maps API for our tracking app. Is there any special we could get from the mobility package from the Google application? So yeah, Karishma, as I mentioned, there are a lot of offerings from Google which are not directly offered through the Google Maps platform or through a credit card. Through a partner, there is a mobility stack that we say. What it does is it actually provide you the end-to-end solution, starting from the consumer SDK to driver SDK and fleet engine at the back end. Now, the customer SDK is to acquire customer, driver is to navigate them, fleet engine is to understand that where your fleet is. And everything, synchronized so perfectly that you can build a lot of logics and solutions on top of it. And you do not have to invest time starting it from the scratch. And again, happy to invest some more time with you and take it forward from there. Now with that, it is lovely. It was a very good session for us. As I said, this is the first session we conducted in 2026. Very excited, happy to connect with most of you one-to-one. My name is Manish. I'm signing off. Thank you so much, guys. Pleasure. Bye-bye.